Welcome to EVTN News and happy Advent to everyone. I hope you're having a great day. Let me get this lighting centered a little bit better. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is my high quality, high budget set based on my significant YouTube ad revenue income. I think this month I'm averaging like $5 per month. Yeah. All right, so let's move into the news. Let's move into the EVTN news. And that's how I'm able to purchase such top quality products like the St. Benedict hat with my YouTube ad revenue. And I think Church Militant will investigate me for that. We're moving back to the USCCB meeting, so there's more information coming out about this. Remember how I told you there was like a secret meeting? The day, well, I guess it would have been what you would call the closed session, a session that was closed to the public at the USCCB meeting. I think that was a lot of Mondays meeting at the USCCB. But anyway, it says the ongoing Synod on Synodality was a major theme at the USCCB General Assembly, both in the plenary sessions open to the press and behind closed doors. Among the items slated to be addressed in the Assembly's private executive session November 17th was the election of delegates to the Synod of Bishops, known as a Synod on Synodality, which will take place in Rome in October 2023 as part of the final universal stage of a synodal process that is currently entering in its continental phase, according to a memo sent by the USCCB General Secretary to all bishops in mid-October and obtained by the Register. The bishops were set to select four delegates and two alternatives from a list of 10 nominees. Okay, each bishop had been asked to nominate up to 5 delegates prior to the General Assembly. Unlike other elections conducted at the USCCB General Assembly, such as the election of the president, the election of synod delegates is held in private. So that's kind of the key here. This, according to the memo, is to assure the confidentiality of the names of those elected until such time as the Holy Father confirms the final roster of delegates and alternates. Until the USCCB's chosen delegates are confirmed by Pope Francis, the names of those elected cannot be made public. All right, so it's going to be a secret until the names are made public. So, I don't know. I remember that the USCCB is full of rigging. Yeah, call me a conspiracy theorist, all right. But remember, communion in the hand in the United States, that was a result of Bernardine rigging the vote. Remember, communion in the hand didn't pass the vote at the USCCB meeting, so Bernardine wrote in the names of 30 missing bishops. And guess what happened? Communion in the hand was permitted, and now we have all kinds of destruction. Also, McCarrick and Gregory, Cardinal Gregory, when they were, I forget who was president and vice president. I think Gregory was president and McCarrick was vice president, but who knows? I don't know. But anyway, McCarrick read Pope Benedict's letter on voting. He paraphrased a lot of the stuff. Was it voting or was it denying communion to pro-abortion politicians? I don't know, but he kind of glossed over a lot of that stuff. So we get all kinds of rigging at the USCCB meetings, and it doesn't seem like the bad guys are completely in charge. It seems like there's some people in charge who are kind of like neutral, but I don't know. But if you live in the Archdiocese of Newark, New Jersey, days after the 2022 United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP27, came to a close on November 18th, the Archdiocese of Newark's Environmental Justice Task Force has released its own plan to guide parishioners on how they can help the planet. So this isn't even about the Catholic faith, it's following the United Nations. Shouldn't we follow a liturgical calendar, not a United Nations schedule? But anyway, Let's see. Notre Dame Church in North Caldwell planted a pollinator garden and cleaned up a nearby neighborhood. Yay! That's a nice service project, but it doesn't have anything to do with the Catholic faith. St. Lucy Church in Newark pushed for the creation of the Essex Hudson Greenway through efforts like obtaining signatures for the initial petition and other outreach. So community organizing, again, not Catholic. Um, that's not true. If you're doing like pro-life activism, then I could see that. But this is like a rally, like grassroots like, activism for a highway. What's a greenway? I don't even know, but not Catholic. St. Catherine Church in Glen Rock holds sustainable Sundays monthly to promote ways of helping the planet. Go to your sustainable parish, or just go to the Latin Mass. It's better. Um, Our Lady of Mercy Church in Park Ridge launched a Creation Care Corner in its weekly bulletin, distributed wild seed packets to parishioners, and advocated for the nonprofit Save Barnegat Bay, among other efforts. Again, activism, not Catholic. Distributing seeds to parishioners, not Catholic. Although I'd appreciate that. I'd probably plant them, but it's not Catholic. And then eco theology in a bulletin, anti Catholic. Remember Pachamama? All right, let's move on to some more nonsense. The German bishops have adopted a new church employment legislation which allows employees to live openly in LMNOP or remarried relationships. The new employment law states the following: diversity in church institutions is an enrichment. All employees can be representatives of God's unconditional love and thus of a church that serves the people, regardless of their specific tasks, their origin, their religion, their age, their disability, their gender, their sexual identity, and their way of life. So you could have a Buddhist, pagan, atheist way of life, and you can still be hired to teach theology. There you go. Church of Iceland isn't any better. They're not Catholic, but in an ad purportedly meant to encourage children to attend Sunday school, the National Church of Ireland featured a bearded Jesus with a female body, makeup, and a dress dancing under a rainbow. I think we will continuously see more and more of this blasphemy. Think about this. What if they portrayed the Prophet Muhammad that way? They wouldn't. That's the answer. All right. Here's what's coming down the line. Pope Francis appointed Bishop Richard Henning as a coadjutor bishop of Providence, Rhode Island on Wednesday. As the coadjutor, Henning will assist Bishop Thomas Tobin, known as the Good Tobin, in the administration of the Rhode Island Diocese later and should succeed him as bishop upon his retirement, expected once Tobin turns 75 next April. So George Newmeyer, you remember him? He was on Taylor Marshall a few times. He was the one who kind of broke the Nighty Night story from Cardinal Tobin, the other Tobin. No, he got Tobin to admit that there is a male model living in Tobin's rectory. That's what he was the guy behind that story. But anyway, he's not a fan of this new bishop, but he also, the Good Tobin is pro-life, which can't be said about all bishops, and he was possibly remotely critical of Pope Francis, maybe at a certain point. So any remote opposition to Pope Francis, and they're cracking down on them sooner than their required retirement age. At this point, Bishop Tobin, he already has his replacement name before his retirement age. That's very unusual, unless the bishop. I think there was a bishop in the United States, maybe like Montana, who requested his replacement be named because of his health. So anyway, Okay, well, yeah, let's go back. Let's go to Chicago. The Archdiocese of Chicago has slated beloved historic St. Adalbert's Catholic Church to be sold to the owner of the profane Temple House, a luxury event venue that hosts lewd performances. But you can't. But I bet they won't give any church buildings to the Institute of Christ the King or the FSSP, or even sell it to them. But they'll sell it to a profane event venue. Thanks for joining us on the live stream. Thank you, Patty. You mentioned McCarrick. Vatican ordered apostolic visitation will be conducted in the Diocese of Knoxville next week. Several sources close to the diocese told The Pillar. This is Bishop Rick Sticka. Yeah. Sources told The Pillar Friday that Bishops Barry Nestout of Richmond and Michael Burbage of Arlington have been directed to visit with priests, diocesan officials, and lay Catholics over several days, amid ongoing concern over the leadership of Bishop Sticka. The decision to commission an on-site assessment of the diocese comes more than 18 months after priests in the diocese reported to the Vatican concerns about Sticka's handling of reports against a former diocesan seminarian who is accused of sexually harassing and assaulting other seminarians and a parish organist. Okay, so the name is Bishop Barry Nestout, who's one of the two bishops who were investigating. Nestout is a former secretary of McCarrick. I think he would know what sexual harassment looks like. Do you think he would do anything about it, though? That's the real question. Cardinal Joseph Zen and 5 others were found guilty on Friday of failing to register a fund that helped pay for legal fees and medical treatments of Hong Kong pro-democracy protesters. The 90-year-old cardinal and former bishop of Hong Kong was fined about $500 in US dollars. So he was fined in the currency that's used in Hong Kong, and amounts to about 500 US dollars. So not, I don't know, not a sum that can't be paid, let's just say that. Zen told reporters after the verdict on November 25th, although I'm a religious figure, I hope this case won't be associated with our freedom of religion. It's not related. Now I know the Vatican has stayed out of this. He's going to pay the fine and then kind of move on, I guess. But it's really a case of the communist government bullying a religious figure, and maybe not for his religion because he spoke out against the communist government. Although it's pretty much at this point, I don't know. I don't want to say it's Catholic doctrine to be opposed to the communism, but it's definitely one of the major principles of the Catholic faith. You can't be a Catholic communist. So even though he's protesting the government, it still falls in line with the Catholic faith. Now the modernists would say, like, it's the same thing the modernists would say about like eco-theology and that kind of stuff. Except in this case, communism isn't Catholic, and so you protest against it. All right, moving on. Bishop Georg Batzing, the head of the German Bishops' Conference, has declared that he does not want to accept an irrevocable no from the Vatican regarding the ordination of women priests. Access to the ecclesiastical office must be open. He said, this is what he said. Access to the ecclesiastical office must be opened up, or it is hard to imagine the future of the church in our country. We must vigorously defend our German causes. And so the Vatican, they were mildly critical of the German synodal way whenever they had that discussion and disagreement, and they left without a resolution when the German bishops came to the Vatican. Bishop Batzing fired back, and that's what he said. So they're going all in on women priests. And what's the Vatican going to do about it? I mean, they've kind of drugged their feet for I don't know how many years now. The Germans were talking about this for years, and the Vatican, they just continued to have no comment on it. Well, now it's not Pope Francis, by the way. It's Vatican officials who are raising concern about this. So, who knows what's going to happen? All right. I have a little bit of a long discussion here. This is really in depth. This is really interesting. So now the Vatican is starting to. Are they sort of defending Catholic doctrine? I mean, they haven't done that for like 9 years or however long Pope Francis has been there, but they're starting. It seems like they're starting to get concerned about the Germans, at least the Vatican officials. Maybe not Pope Francis. Some of the Vatican officials. That's definitely a key. Some of them probably support it. They're also getting concerned about the Chinese communists. So, you know, this rotten Vatican-China deal, I mean, that was sort of my wake-up moment. It was my wake-up moment. I said, you know, in 2018, whenever I heard about this Vatican-Chinese deal, even like the rumors, I said, this is bad. And then it was actually, you know, the deal actually went through, and I said, wow, someone's compromised. This is very wrong. Well, that's an understatement. A statement released on November 26 said that the Holy See noted with surprise and regret that Bishop John Peng Weijiao has been installed as an auxiliary bishop of Jiangxi, a diocese that is not recognized by the Vatican. So this bishop, Bishop Peng, was legitimately appointed by Pope Francis in 2014 and secretly ordained as an underground bishop of Yujiang, something for which he was arrested by Chinese authorities and held in custody for 6 months. So let's backtrack here. This bishop was ordained to the underground church in 2014 and was arrested. The Chinese government has installed him as an auxiliary bishop of a diocese that is not recognized by the Vatican. Okay. The Chinese Patriotic Association publicized on its official website that Bishop Peng's installation ceremony occurred on November 24th with the consent of the Jiangxi Provincial Catholic Educational Affairs Committee and the approval of the Chinese Catholic Bishops' Conference. So that was the concern about the Vatican-Chinese deal since the beginning, that China was going to do all this stuff without the Vatican's approval or even without the Vatican's knowledge. Not that the Vatican's approval, not that you're going to get Catholic bishops if the Vatican approves it, but you get what I'm saying here. Just look at some of the bishops and cardinals. I mean, look at Cardinal McElroy, you know. Oh. But anyway, the government-approved Catholic Association said Bishop Peng swore an oath at the installation ceremony to quote, guide Catholicism to adapt to socialist society and to contribute to the dream of the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. And so he swore an oath of loyalty to the communists. Which, if we're looking at the Vatican, is there really a difference? Peng's installation ceremony in Nanchang, China, didn't. Oh, okay. This is from the Vatican statement. Bishop Peng's installation ceremony did not occur in accordance with the spirit of dialogue and what was stipulated in the provincial agreement of the appointment of bishops on September 22nd, 2018. The Vatican statement also noted reports that prolonged and heavy pressure from local authorities preceded the installation. Wow, this is unbelievable. Oh no, we thought we could trust the communists. I mean, can you guys believe it? Come on. How stupid do you think we are? All right, here the statement also said, the Holy See hopes that similar episodes will not be repeated. remains awaiting appropriate communications on the matter from authorities and reaffirms its full readiness to continue the respectful dialogue concerning all matters of common interest. Well, here's the dialogue. Communism isn't Catholic. Wow, the Vatican's finding that out after 4 years. Whenever a nobody like me figured it out right away. Wow. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I mean, you guys knew it too, right from the start. This is pathetic. But now all of a sudden, the Vatican, at least the Vatican officials are saying, hey, wait a second. This isn't what we wanted. This isn't really Catholic. Well, guess what? The Vatican hasn't been Catholic for 9 years. All right. Moving on. Bishop Calvin Klein. Chur, Switzerland. He's always in EVTN news. Chur, Switzerland Bishop Jose Maria Bonnermain, 74, of Switzerland, a Francis follower, has abolished the post of exorcist because, according to him, it is no longer needed. In assessing demonic possession, Bonnermain puts his faith mainly in a normal solution, like medicine, psychology. He said there is no need to try to find secret causes. Bonnermain admits he has no idea about exorcism. He said, I've never been confronted with a person where I had to say a major exorcism is required. Maybe that's because he's ignoring the symptoms. Just a thought. He's friendly with the LMNOPs. You've probably seen a few of them at this point. All right, well, that's what I have. I got fired up about China. And all right, he got, I think that was about Tobin. He got to a house McCarrick was in. Also, I see we're getting 10 new climate commandments. Oh, from Bergoglio at Mount Sinai on the 6th and 18th of December. Oh, really? Patty, I'm always glad to have you on the live stream. I thought they weren't allowed to go to the actual Mount Sinai. I think that I'm guessing that's probably a joke, but wouldn't that be funny? If it is, then I'd be interested to see what they are. So I will say, with EVTN News, I hope that all of you enjoy EVTN News. I have a few ideas for this channel for some changes of the channel, and EVTN News may not be part of the plan. I hope that's not too disappointing news, but we'll see. Also, I would like to, I'm getting kind of worn out, and I don't mean to make excuses, but a lot of new things that been doing a lot of different things. So hopefully I can get some, my feet on the ground and start some new stuff on this channel. Maybe we'll see, But I'll let you know if EVTN does go away. Maybe not. No, they really did give the 10 new climate commandments. I'll have to research it. They'll probably bring back 2 tablets. Of course. Well, I don't know. What kind of tablets? Would they be stone tablets? Or would they be like environmentally conscious, like recycled plastic tablets? I don't really know. But yeah, EVTN News, it may not exist much longer. We'll see. Even, you know what though, even if I do news for 10 minutes, it's always fun to see 10 minutes. It's always good to see you guys on the live stream. I gotta do a little bit of research. I'm not complaining about the time I spend on it. It's not, I mean, I'd read the articles anyway, so whatever, but it may be a scaled back version of EVTN. It may not even be weekly, who knows, because I have other plans, and I hope that they will come. I hope that these plans will come true. You never know. But anyway, Greenstone Commandments. All right, this is great. I like the dialogue on this EVTN live stream um, about the environmentally friendly 10 Commandments. Um, yeah, anyway, this has been EVTN News. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. We are the laity, and we will not be silent.